What if you could integrate the GitHub Copilot engine directly into your C# app? Today, we're going to break down the Copilot SDK and see how with .NET you can create a client, open sessions, choose models, and even do real-time streaming. I'll show you everything from installation to practical examples, web fetch, custom tools, and how Copilot can reorganize an entire folder for you. If you want to integrate all the power of Copilot within your applications and not just use it in Visual Studio Code, this video is for you. Let's get started. Let's explore this repository called Copilot SDK. In a previous session, we already analyzed Copilot CLI, so let's see what this project just released by Microsoft is about. The description tells us it's a cross-platform SDK to integrate the GitHub Copilot agent into applications and services. What does this mean? Well, this is very interesting and basically means we'll be able to integrate this Copilot intelligence engine directly on different platforms or with our favorite programming language, as I said, right into your applications. The SDK is available for Node.js and TypeScript, Python, Go, and .NET, which is the technology we'll be exploring in this specific video. Here we have the Getting Started section, which basically says we need to install Copilot CLI beforehand. If you want to know how to install it, I already made a video explaining this process, which I recommend you watch if you haven't seen it and don't know how to do this. Or you also have the installation guide if you want to do it on your own. Next, it says you need to install your preferred SDK to run your tests, and finally, you should read the README of the SDK to understand how it works, although in this video, we'll be covering precisely that introduction to the Copilot ecosystem. As you can see, there is an architecture diagram here, so you can get a sense of how these calls from Copilot will basically work. First, we're going to have our application, for example, a C# console application, and this will allow us to communicate with the client SDK, which is connected to a server or a server mode of Copilot CLI. This is what provides us all the information or all the intelligence that we can integrate as part of our applications. So, to carry out the different tests, I've created a brand new project from scratch. It's a console application, and what we'll do is simply go to the NuGet package manager. I'm going to indicate, or rather search for, Copilot SDK, and you can see here we have different results. We're interested in this one called github.copilot.sdk, as you can see on the screen. Here we have installation instructions, even a quick start, and, well, this is the package we want, so let's install it as part of this project. Once the installation is complete, you can see that we have it installed in our project. It's here now. So, I'm going to close this window and open program.cs, which is where we'll be working for the demonstration. The first thing we need to do is use or implement or import the namespace, which is github.copilot.sdk. And once this namespace is ready, we can very easily create a Copilot client. This client is responsible for handling communications with our prompts for what we want to do directly with GitHub Copilot, so it can perform the action we want through artificial intelligence. Once we've created this client, we must create a session, and this session is basically the bridge between the client and GitHub Copilot to have information, for example, about the different queries we've made, the processing, and other data. Among other options, we can configure, for example, the model. In this specific case, I am using the model GPT 5.1 Codex Mini to avoid spending credits, but you can use whichever model suits you best, perhaps one with more powerful reasoning, like the cloud models, or perhaps the GPT Codex paid models. Once we have the session ready, you can see that it's configured through the client and uses options through session config. Once our session is ready, the next step is to prepare a response or response variable. And here, we use the same session to send the request and wait for it to be completed precisely for the request we made. Here we can use some additional parameters. For example, message options, which contains a property called prompts. This is basically the instruction we want to execute against the GitHub Copilot engine. And once we are done with this, the only thing left is to display the response. We will do this through console writeline. The first response we are going to show is the content of the data returned in the response. And finally, to see a bit more about how this works, I will try to obtain the reasoning text from the model to know what the model internally thought in order to give us the solution to this question we asked. And that's all you need to be able to use Copilot as part of your applications. Let's run the application to see how what we've built looks. And here we have the response already. You can see we have a response saying there are 3 R's in strawberry, and the reasoning model gave us this reasoning, which is quite short, saying the letters in strawberry are counted. And we see that this is a correct response. Although the reasoning strategy wasn't as complex as we might have wanted, and that's fine. If we wanted to use a different model, we could do that as well. For example, I'm going to switch the model to a more powerful one, such as Cloud Sonnet 4.5, to compare the responses we can get from both models. In this case, it took a little longer because the response was analyzed more thoroughly. Here we have the answer provided by the model. It's not exactly the same, but it does give us the same result, to sum it up. But here we can see a more complex reasoning process, because the model starts questioning what the user asked, performs a count, tells us that each letter, compares the letters of the word to see which ones are S, or rather R, and which ones are not R. With this, it concludes that there are 3 R's in strawberry. That's the difference between the various models. Some models reason a bit more before giving an answer, while others go straight to the answer. And basically, this affects the cost of using one model or another, since a greater level of reasoning is involved. After understanding how this first interaction works and how we can communicate with the model, you should also know that it's possible to perform streaming to see the answer in real time. For example, I'm going to change the prompt and ask it to create a synopsis of the movie Back to the Future in 500 words to see what it returns. If we run the application, let's give it a few seconds. You'll see the response came all at once, meaning we received everything at the same time, and there was no gradual output like we sometimes see in Visual Studio, for example, where the answer comes in piece by piece. How can we enable this? Well, we can enable it in a very simple way. Simply, in the session configuration section, I'll add a comma, set streaming to true, and with this, we enable streaming so it's part of the responses delivered to users. But we need to take another action here. Now, I'll paste another section of code where basically what I'm doing is capturing the events that occurred during the session, and I use a switch to compare each of these events we obtain. So this first case you see on screen detects when a piece of text arrives at the client. We can write out what that piece was, which works for the streaming section. You can see we use console.write to write out the chunk that arrived from GitHub Copilot. And we have a second case. This indicates that the client is ready or waiting for some additional iteration. So we use this switch case to intercept these 2 events and know when we've received a small response. Since we're writing out the response itself here, we can go to the bottom part and comment out those 3 lines that previously returned all the content and start running the application. Okay, you can see we have streaming here, you saw it in action, and with this we confirm that this streaming feature works correctly. Now, maybe another thing you'd want to do is check if the tools section works, because I think this is one of the most powerful features. When we can take actions like modifying files, creating files, consulting documentation, using MCP tools, and more. This is what really gives GitHub Copilot its power to perform tasks. So in this third example, let's use the available tools. What am I going to do to perform this demonstration? Well, before this session.on, I will create a list of type string called tools used, which will help us keep track of the tools we use throughout the session. Secondly, as part of this switch statement, I will add a couple of additional cases. The first one will let me know when the use of a tool begins. So, when this event occurs, I will write out which tool is being used. I will also have this second event, which will let me know when a tool has finished being used. And once again, I will print out here that the tool has finished being used. This is what I will do as part of this session on. Next, I will modify this response here and add some code I have prepared, where I basically create a variable called URL to store a specific URL. Afterwards, using the session, I use send and wait async once again to send a request. In this case, I'm specifying that I want the content from the previously specified URL to be retrieved. This could also be a URL entered by the user, and I want a summary of the main sections and features mentioned on the page. This should trigger the web search tool to be invoked. Let's see if that's true. And you can see that we already have these logs, which indicate that, for example, web fetch is being used, which basically allows information to be retrieved from a website. And it is invoked several times because the content can be a little long, and that's why multiple calls to the tool are needed to retrieve all the content from the repository. But once the entire repository has been read, you can see that we have here the description or a summary of the main features of the repository, and we have it over here. With this, we have verified that the tools are working correctly. Now, you might wonder how you can add custom tools as part of Copilot sessions. Well, let's do a demonstration to see this in action. After we define the client, what I'm going to do is create here a tool which is an AI function. Basically, it contains a description so that the user knows they need to enter the name of a city. In this case, the model will include the necessary information to send based on these description parameters and the name of the parameter that this function is expecting. What we do here is simulate invoking a weather service to return a specific piece of data. It's not very complex, it's simply a function that simulates checking the weather status. Once this new functionality, this function, has been created, we need to go to the session creation part. After this streaming, we have to indicate which custom tools we want to use through a parameter called tools. Here we are going to insert, using a list, those tools that we want to use. In our case, it's called getWeather, and that's why we define it this way. Here you could add more custom tools if needed. And once this is ready, I'm going to change the prompt that I previously had. The code remains the same, the part that sends the session, the actual text sending. The only thing that is changing is the prompt, which now asks what the weather is like in Seattle and Tokyo. Let's start running the application to see if it works correctly. And you can see that this time the functionality, or this tool called getWeather, was invoked. This tool allows us to get weather information, and we have this result, which was generated thanks to the data retrieved by the tool. With this, we verify that we can also use custom tools. Now let's move to something a bit more complex, which has a bit more complexity. We'll review an example where we pass an operating system folder to Copilot, and it manages the ordering of the information. I'm not going to modify this code. Instead, I'll copy and paste one I had ready beforehand, but it follows exactly the same concepts we've seen so far. First, we have a client. We also have the client startup with start async. We specify a folder to be analyzed. By the way, this folder is the folder you can see on screen, and you can see it contains documents, zip files, images, and a lot of files that are basically unordered, just like you probably have some folders with files like this. So what we want to achieve is for Copilot to help us organize those files from this folder into subfolders. Here, we're creating once again a list of tools to see at the end which tools were used. We create the session. In this case, we're using the GPT 4.1 model. Once again, we're monitoring events to know, to detect when a tool is used, to write what Copilot is doing, etc. And we also have the instruction here that allows, in this case, the prompt to analyze the files in the folder and provide the total number of files, the files found, or the file type, and also the suggested organization strategy. Here, in this specific case, in the first iteration, we only analyze and report the result, and nothing is moved yet. And why do we do this? Well, because maybe the user does not want to perform this operation permanently, and prefers to first analyze the strategy before deciding to accept or decline the request. What we do next is ask through a console.writeLine, which shows the tools used and asks if the user wants to perform this file organization action or not. Here, we monitor the user's response in case they want to proceed with this new arrangement or this organization, the creation of folders and putting files in each of the folders. So, here we start another execution. And notice, it is very interesting because we are reusing, or we will reuse, the client. That is, the context window we had previously will be used with the proposed strategy to organize the files, but now physically. So here, we say that based on the previous analysis, we proceed to organize the files. First, the suggested subfolders will be created, each file will be moved to the corresponding subfolder, and a summary of what was done will be provided. And finally, the organization plan that was created will be executed. At the end, essentially, this prompt is executed with send async, and a summary of the tools used, tool execution, and other information is displayed. If the user does not accept the organization, it will show that the organization was cancelled by the user. Let's see how this looks. To do this, I will open the folder here with the disorganized files. I will start the application and I want you to see in real time what is going to happen. Here, it is showing the suggestion for the folder organization, indicating which folders will be created. You can see the plan right here. There are more than 200 files, including TXT, PDF, zip, etc. And the organization strategy is by documents, audio, video, images, code, MISC files, and so on. It asks us if we want to continue with the organization. Let's type yes, and I want you to see what happens. The process of organizing files begins and a set of calls to PowerShell tools is executed. After some seconds, and this was actually very fast, these folders were automatically created. Let's check one of the folders. For example, the one labeled images, and here we find only images and related files. For example, a Figma file or a Photoshop file. Here we also have a folder for code. We have C# classes, Razor files, and some script files. With this, we have confirmed that the program works correctly and that Copilot was able to create an execution plan and run it based on a user's instruction. This is just the surface of GitHub Copilot SDK. The truth is, it has many parameters, lots of classes you can explore, enough for a super long video or even a whole course. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you like this content, please subscribe to the channel, give it a like, and share it with your friends. See you in the next video.